Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mid-Season Brawl, and the jacket is off. Everything is real. This is not a dream. This is an emergency. We are 3-3 here. One second. Oh. Oh, calm down. Oh, okay. It's 3-3, and we are ready to go into the final game. Did we think... that was the best Towers of Doom game of all time. Is that fair?
I'm willing to call it the best rotation I've ever seen in my entire, in Heroes history, period. And I don't think it'd ever be beat by Dignitas. That was insane.
Unbelievable. And now we're in a situation where nobody coming into this tournament thought we would get to the final map of our best of 7 series going into the grand final. But here we are. Gen.G is on the brink of destruction, and Dignitas is on the verge of causing one of the biggest upsets in Heroes of the Storm history.
And not only that, but Dignitas 2 games in a row now have come back from being behind. They had the very end pick, and honestly, we had a lot of doubt in that. And though they did get some picks, they were behind in the rotations because of the globals. But that slow play, the patience, the discipline from Team Dignitas, that was insanity.
I feel like I'm the mad scientist who kind of runs in saying that this is all real, guys, and everyone ignores it. But this is the situation we are in right now. This is ridiculous, Jay Howe. What we just watched was insanity.
I feel bad because there was a moment you and I are sitting together watching the game. We're like, I think this is when it's over.
We thought it was done. We did think it was done.
Unbelievable. Just the fact that they were able to do that and that positioning over that altar, trying to soak, and then the 6 cap and the hold off. I've never seen anything like that. You say Towers of Doom. I say that might be the greatest game I've ever seen in Heroes of Storm. It's unreal.
Fred, what do you have for us?
At the very end fight and the very end rotation. All right, so this was actually the very end rotation after they get the final wipe. And the biggest thing to highlight is, if we can just go ahead and pause, is that every member of Team Dignitas split up. We saw Poik back out into the bottom left-hand corner to make sure he converts Bell Tower #1. You see the bunker go down here below as you see the complete wipe there to make sure they get #2. Gen.G goes top to secure altar #3, and the rotation that Zaylia had in the middle lane. But the biggest thing there is notice the time of conversion. We can go ahead and play through. Top and bottom die at near identical times, making this very difficult to respond from Gen.G. If you cap that in 1, 2, 3 order, Gen.G responds in the exact same order you can't. So the fact that Dignitas not only was able to convert 4 bell towers in that downtime, getting them the 7 shots and all the trickling shots afterwards, it was more the timing and the decision making and knowing who can get how much damage in those angles. It's actually ludicrous.
Now I want to raise a very important point now because we have an interesting predicament on our hands. There are only 2 maps left in our map pool, with 2 being banned so far, and that's Braxis Holdout and Sky Temple. And when you talk about which teams don't like Braxis, it's both of these. Both of them ban them, but Western teams play Braxis a lot more than the Eastern teams do. But then again, you talk about Korean teams and their dominance on Sky Temple. Dignitas are still willing to risk it. We've seen some good Sky Temple games at a Mid-Season Brawl before, though.
Yeah, here we go. If we come back on camera and I have my tie around my neck and I've gone feral, you might know why at this point, because this series, this final, has lived up to all. It's surpassed expectations. The expectation was not to go to a game #7, but here we are. Gen.G goes up against Dignitas. There's one final map on the line in this draft.
Gil, you said
no bunker.
Sky Temple. I think that was just last year at this very event.
And at this event, neither team has played it.
That crowd is wild right now.
Amazing.
The energy of the crowd fueling Dignitas at this point. Whoever wins this fully deserves the moniker of the Mid-Season Brawl champion. Gen.G has looked amazing throughout the entire tournament, but Dignitas has somehow found themselves a spot.
Oh, man.
Gen.G finally here for Gen.G. We've seen them stay away from it for the most part. Dignitas has denied Tracer every step of the way in some form or fashion, but now we finally get to see Gen.G, and there's no clear cut on whether this is reset or rich yet either.
Right, this is the first time Gen.G have gotten one of these dive heroes, either Rich's Tracer or Gen.G, maybe reset on Gen.G. And that is a good feeling for Gen.G, especially being down 2 games in a row versus Dignitas and the crowd, because they are clearly the crowd favorites.
I don't know why, I just feel like somebody's grabbing themselves a Zeratul this game.
Yeah.
I just foresee the draft gonna unfold a certain way. Okay, probably won't be Dignitas now.
Zeratul, Gen.G, not the most common apparent, but possibly going to get it later on. But I agree with you, something a little bit wild and definitely more aggressive. The fact that Dig is so comfortable moving to Sky Temple against a Korean team in this kind of situation and is still, I'm sitting here speechless. I actually had no confidence that that was going to be the direction we actually moved this draft into. And then Gen.G with their first, not first look, but definitely one of the kind of earlier looks to get them a dive hero like that Gen.G. Dignitas has a game plan here.
The one thing about this map in particular, we've seen a high priority for Hanzo. Hanzo doesn't have as high priority in any aspect of this map other than the boss. And sometimes when you talk about boss control and fighting that, it's not always a pretty scene. It's pretty much been a decider in a lot of our games. So curious where we'll see that approach.
Hard to figure out what to ban here for Dignitas because it's a well-rounded first 3 picks for Gen.G. Solo would be the likely choice here because with the Blaze already gone and a Dahaka choice, maybe they can hurt Kyocha a little bit more here.
I feel like that Karazim rotation is very curious here from Gen.G. In this type of situation with pairing with the Gen.G, I feel like it is showing that they're going to just 7-sided kind of get an all in there.
It's also been generally Sake's favored support after Malfurion. Maybe it's just with that being willing to give up the Malfurion first pick for the first time to get their Gen.G. Maybe that's a little bit of a clue into that as well.
And it's one of the best when it comes to the early skirmishes. I feel like that's why the Johanna, I guess, seems interesting. It's not so much that we get the Karazim, but we get that exact rotation here on Sky Temple in this position because Johanna does not cater to very much when it comes to the early skirmishes other than she's a great stall tactic while you send your 2 to 3 men to get the skirmish on the top and bottom shrine. And, there's obviously a lot of focus on the first shrine phase as Sky Temple was the original snowball battleground. And so I just didn't expect that kind of pairing to come together.
Yeah, it's a huge adjustment too, giving up Garrosh. Generally, it's been the favored warrior for Gen.G this match.
Old school Dignitas normally reverted back to a gray main, but as Dreadnought alluded to, the Karazim with that Earth ally, especially the blinds on Johanna, not as appealing for that, but it is one of those things that if we're looking at overall map control, Dignitas does like to use that gray main, does like to rotate around and get structures. I just wonder if that's going to be in the back of their mind. And then Dignitas banning out that Sonya, leaving Leoric kind of at the top of the heap in terms of those other warriors, but that again poses the question now with this squishy backline, will Kyocha go Zeratul?
And even if he does, is it going to pay off? It's very, very skirmish focused. And again, Johanna doesn't kind of play into that outside of her ability to get the stall. But Falstead makes it a very, very appealing pickup. Jaina makes it a little bit more intimidating, even though Jaina is one of the squishier ones that Zeratul can kind of pick on. If Zeratul picks on somebody else and ends up getting a teleport out that isn't far enough out, Jaina secures that kill almost 100% or forces a void.
We don't have an Avatar pickup yet, by the way.
Yeah, and
it's something to consider.
Wow.
On Sky Temple, Mule plus double Gen.G is a real thing.
Malthael.
Wow.
That doesn't really feel like while scary, a Gen.G.
They go down the Malthael route again.
Dignitas have left their tank toward the end. I got to talk to Navi, the Dignitas coach, a little bit toward the beginning of that last game and asked about the variant, and he said we put a lot of trust in JPL that we can leave that warrior and ask him what he feels like he can best have a little bit of fun with, but also be able to see into the game. They trust the way he looks at the game. So we'll see now what JPL's feeling for this very last game.
They stayed away from the Anubarak last time. Anubarak could cocoon either the Gen.G or the Malthael, although the heroics have been very different. We also have seen the variant, but we also have Stitches. A Stitches hook into a Malfurion roots. We know Dignitas loves it. Doesn't matter the battleground. It's going to be very interesting in the way that they will approach this map on this last pick.
Whatever it is, I think it has to be willing to bring the fight here to Gen.G over that first shrine phase. They have the double globals to sell it out, but I can't help but feel like it's not going to be enough to hold its own. And we get a JPL Classic there with a Murden.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the Murden pick, it's, as he said, a classic. And even when Muradin kind of was out of the meta. JPL still made him a part of a meta. It's actually his most played hero during league play, so it's something that they are used to running. I think it gives him a lot of control on the front line, a lot of ability to make plays happen. It's interesting to say the least.
It's all down to one map, and now we need the final predictions, not only for this game, but for the entire tournament. Sorry that you have to go first.
It's... Oh my gosh, the momentum here for Dignitas, I think, is too out of control. They have the crowd. They have the back two games, they've gotten double recovery. I can't help but feel like, again, based on that last pick in the last game, I didn't feel like they deserved to be able to get the recovery, but when they did, they made a miracle happen and turned the whole game around. I'm going with Dignitas.
J-How.
Double reset Korean team, known as Gen.G, by the way, versus hometown favorites here of Dignitas, because that crowd is loud right now. I'm gonna let the crowd pick for me.
Gillyweed.
Hashtag what Dread said.
Hashtag what Dread said. That will be Dignitas for you. And finally...
No punchy arms needed for this one.
No punchy arms needed for this one. Let's check what Twitch chat thinks as well. Oh boy.
Oh, every win. 2 in a row, though.
87%. Ladies and gentlemen out there, it seems like Dignitas has come into this final, and not only have they proved that gods can bleed, they've proved that gods can be wounded, and now we're on the verge of seeing if gods can be killed here in the grand final of the Mid-Season Brawl. Let's head over to our commentary team to bring you the final game of the entirety of the Mid-Season Brawl. Gentlemen.
I'm still shaking.
I can't believe we're actually here.
I don't game again.
Game 7, and it's going to be epic.
Take it away, guys.
All right, game number 7. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think the MSB could be as hype as we saw last year. But this is already blowing it out of the water. Both of our teams deserve a victory.
They definitely do, and I'm happy that we are here, and I'm happy that I'm casting it with you. Couldn't wish for a better co-caster as we are heading into game number 7 on Sky Temple. And to the left, for the last time at the MSB, we have Rich on Gen.G, Tis on Johanna, Zaka on Karasim, Kyoja on Malthael, Reset on Liming. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Gen.G.
On the right, doing what seems impossible. Zalia playing Mount Furion, Wubby on Dahaka, Poik on Jaina, Snitch on Falstad, JPL on Muradin. It is Team Dignitas!
This series has exceeded expectations, and this is the final game. And Dignitas, they try to open it up with a kill. Johanna, in this case, paying attention though, but unbelievable that we are here. The best Towers of Doom game that I have ever seen in my entire life has brought us to Game 7 as Dignitas somehow clutched out a victory.
And what a final battleground between these two teams. Sky Temple is a battleground that requires the utmost team fight. You have to be concise. You have to be clear with your engagements. And both teams have been great at that this series.
Snitch has been right here last year on Sky Temple in the 7th game. He has so many flashbacks at this point. He wants to win this. But all that Gen.G needs is to just obliterate all the work that Dignitas has pulled in this series, is to win the last and final map with a doubled reset composition.
That's right, that composition is a terrifying composition between Li Ming and Gen.G finding a target. And there are many squishy targets there for Dignitas between Jaina, Falstad, and Mount Furion. They can get those resets. And then at level 10, if Last Rites is a pickup, if you get those cooldowns going, it's gonna be a hard game for Dignitas. Already though, we're working on our Merc camps. Giants grab for both teams as Gen.G looks to get the upper hand.
One mistake. It's all that it takes at this point to lose this. We saw that on the last map. Dignitas, they are waiting for the mistake to happen. Snitch at the top lane, playing extremely well here, paying attention and not falling as Gen.G goes in and tries to get that kill, while we see the defense at the bot lane.
He has to be careful up there in the top lane. Falstad, very easy to pick off if you are a Gen.G player. Gen.G will be looking for that, especially with Rich here. He is wanting to finish out the series with a big victory. And if you want to make sure that you get that win, you put Rich on a hero like Gen.G.
How much, though, do the last 2 losses impact Gen.G at this point. They came in here, they had such a fantastic record. They ended the final with a 37-0, won the first map, made it a 38-0 track record, and now they lost 3 maps. Can they recover? Do they have it, what it really takes to just say, we don't care, we will still win this game, and we will take that series away from you, no matter how hard you fought for it?
We are about to find out. It's been calm, but it's about to get aggressive between both our teams as Temples will activate in about 20 seconds. Dignitas, again, has the double global. They can make a play here. They can also play patience and see how Gen.G is intending to play and then try to punish from there. Kyocha in the top lane has to be careful, though, as Dignitas sneaks up and tries to look for a kill.
Early camp taken by Dignitas. Gen.G waited a little bit longer here for their own. They're trying to set us up at a defense in tower range. And Gen.G comes in. Gen.G, rich on him, is looking for a target. He's looking for Point. He's looking for Snitch. He's looking for anyone that he can blow up.
At the same time, they have to clear up this camp. Dignitas continues to siege away, grabbing some shots at the top here. We'll jump up and experience there a little bit. But the camp will start pushing here for Gen.G, which means Dignitas needs to back up and make sure to clear it out. Meanwhile, in the middle, Karazim has taken the time to siege away and get some shots.
Dignitas, they have the double global. Do they use it here? Rich moves in, puts a bit of damage in, but he himself needs to be careful. JPL missing the Stormbolt as we see the combo coming in. Here's the global. Could have been a kill. The deflect comes in, but Rich goes down.
Zalio's also low, though. He tries to cut away. Gen.G able to bite on back, but Dignitas coming forward. A big condiv comes out, but Dignitas gets 2 kills, and Tist will have to retreat.
Blow for blow, Dignitas with a 2-for-1. And once again, Tist retreating here. Jaina, Point barely surviving.
Barely surviving, and also grabbing the temple shots. Some exchanges between the two. Sake steps forward, but takes a pretty big hit there from Snitch. Wubby trying to grab these shots here, but also grab the experience from that big camp as Reset comes in and sieges away.
Yeah, Reset is there, and Snitch has to be careful. He's already low in HP. And we have Jaina moving into the middle of the map, trying to push it out. Experience lead now for Dignitas, but it's a small one.
Dignitas needs to be careful. Jaina's already spread out. She's been double soaking between the middle and the bottom lane. And Dignitas realizing, okay, there's a few targets here that could take us out. They back away and allow a couple shots to go on top of the turret, but they're doing just fine. The experience is equal.
Survivability is so key for Dignitas here. They go for the tissue regeneration build on the side of Dehaka. They have the stone form on the side of Meridian. Third win.
Both teams
level 1
are on track right now to get level 10 around the second temple phase, and that's where we should have explosive firework between the two. Dignitas immediately runs to the bottom right, though. Not wanting to stay near this reset composition, grabbing Giants, trying to push in the bottom lane, but Kyocha already started the Giants here for Gen.G on the bottom left.
And experience is dead even. Oftentimes we see a team trying to lead early to get maybe that quick boss around level 10, trying to use the heroic abilities to grab it. But at this point, the big question is, are we going to see that boss fight maybe later? We have Falstad. He could go for the Gust here and make sure that they have more zone control.
I like Dignitas doing a slow play around there. A lot of time you'll see some teams come over and peek around and see if Gen.G or the opposing team is attempting to grab those Giants. Dignitas just want the experience. That's all they want. They sieged the bottom lane, they cleared out the minions, and they took away a turret. And it gave them an inkling of an experience lead.
Dignitas knows that if they lose one hero, the resets will make it nearly impossible to win the fight. If Li Ming and Gen.G get those resets, the Korean team can just simply obliterate them. And that's exactly what at this point, especially Rich and Reset are looking for. They're looking for that kill against the hit point low heroes, against Falstad and against Jaina.
JPL sneaks around. He's looking for a cheeky play. Would love to get a Stormbolt on anyone here. Dehaka in the top right is poised and ready to come in with a Brush Stalker. But Gen.G groups up in the middle with 5. They're actually trying to force their own fight as Tist moves in.
And they're going straight for the battle already. We're seeing the Blizzard being dropped as Jaina is trying to push the damage in. It's not enough. The level 10 is there for Gen.G. For Gen.G, and they're using it. They're moving it. They're trying to get the kill. But it's Li Ming that falls.
Still a 1-for-1 between these two teams. They're so equally matched in every single team fight. But with the temple spawning in 15 seconds, Dignitas heads to the bottom.
But the 10 dropped first for Gen.G. And they could only get the kill after Li Ming has already fallen. And that's Dignitas shutting down the resets. That was such an important kill at an important time. Because before it happened, Dignitas didn't have heroic abilities that could have backfired so hard. If the resets would have started to kick in for Li Ming, if she wouldn't have fallen here, that could have been even the beginning of the end.
Close for both the teams. Dehaka one on the top here. He's trying to grab some essence while Dignitas grabs a couple shots on the bottom. But Snitch needs to be careful. He needs to back away. Gen.G is wanting to fight over this temple while Dehaka at any point can burrow in. He still has an isolation available and there is a Twilight Dream. The big heroic though that Dignitas needs to play around is Mighty Gust, and that's up in 9 seconds.
And Reset is back to business now as well. He's on his limbing. And also, Blessed Shield is ready. Can be used. Johanna is going to look for the target. Snitch, on the other hand, is trying to put the damage in. Here comes the Stormbolt. Here comes the Tong. Falls there with a Mighty Gust. The isolation attempt. The isolation is hitting. And they're going for the kill. But Muradin falls again. Blow for blow as Gen.G and Dignitas are fighting it out. Brawling it out on the second objective.
But here's the issue. Last Right gets a stack off for that kill. That's going to be an issue if that continues to keep happening for Malthael. 4 versus 4 though in the bottom lane. Gen.G able to get the upper hand. As Dignitas turns around, they try to get a kill. They're focused on Kyocha. There's a hammering. There's the auto attack, but Malfurion falls to the right side. Kyocha is still alive. Wubby misses the drag, and Dignitas, they have to run.
Snitch is in trouble, and that's the reset. Malfurion goes down, and Forster gets eliminated. The resets are kicking in. It is a full team wipe. After Muradin has fallen, we see 4 more kills. This is what Dignitas was afraid of. Giving the kills over to Gen.G, and Rich and Reset took the opportunity and obliterated everybody.
It only takes one. A bunch of bully pins falling over one by one. Dignitas, 7-side strike comes out. JPL trying to stay alive, but there's another last right stack as Rich goes in. Rich is angry. Rich, kill you!
Rich is going in, and he gets the kill together with Kyocha and Malthael. Once more, Dignitas. They're just finished. They're trying. It's not enough. It's not enough, but Malthael is down. So is Falstead. It's a bloodbath. They're turning Sky Temple into a graveyard as kills are coming in. Left, right, and center. Celia's low. He falls. So does the Haka, but they counter with a kill against Saka.
Point keeps funneling in there. He's trying to get Rich here. He goes for it, but he can't get it. Point gets caught too. Dignitas is feeding as multiple keeps coming in. They're staggering death.
12 kills against 6, and Gen.G just doesn't stop. Dignitas was trying to go for the boss. The gust was there, but Gen.G channeled already to an extent, and that made it impossible for the Europeans to grab it.
And Gen.G is looking to open up the map as they push in this bottom lane. There goes a 4 as it will fall dramatically here. Dignitas waiting for all 5 members of, but now they are 2 levels behind and have to defend a push coming their way.
Dignitas is in a spot where they have been before in this series. On Dragonshire, they were looking at a disadvantage, and we had Gen.G pushing, but then they got the one engage, they got the one more that they needed, and they came back into it, and this is what they're looking for again. They committed so many resources to try and steal that boss away. They put everything, all their hopes on this one moment, this one card, and Gen.G just shut them down. And now Dignitas is having to hope for another good engage and just one opportunity to turn this around again.
Malthael currently with 3 last right stacks, getting that cooldown reduced. Dignitas does hit 13, and 2 temples will spawn. Dignitas needs to make a play. JPL steps forward, runs in, baits out the 7-sided strike. It comes out early from Sake.
Blessed Shield did not connect, and that was a setup attempt. Gen.G, they are so close right now. They are ahead once again. They were headed into this series as the clear favorite. Nobody doubted that they would win this, but Dignitas, they pushed them to the limit, and now this is an opportunity for Korea to win the mid-season brawl. Malthael is at the bot lane. They have been pushing. They've been eliminating structures, but Dignitas is still fighting, and Dignitas is always dangerous, still when behind.
They have to fight. Gen.G being able to dance around the map has the bottom tempo. They don't really intend to force a fight here in the middle. All they're trying to do is keep Dignitas in this area with their globals. Tahaka soaking the bottom lane, but Gen.G starting to back up. The tempo's finally going over to Dignitas here in the middle, but Malthael is able to grab a majority of the shots to the south.
And the globals that you just mentioned are going to be so important in the late game in particular, but Gen.G is heading towards the 16. Dignitas has the Giant Killer on Falstead, and they have 25 stacks at this point. They are working to complete that. They want to put the extra pressure on, but as you said before, the stacks on Malthael are going to be a problem.
Gen.G hitting 16, Twilight Dream comes out, but Johanna with the Iron Skin is able to back up. Mighty Gust, Dignitas have to get away from this fight, not getting the kill, which was their main priority. If they don't get the kill, they have to escape, and they do so.
It was an attempt to just surprise Gen.G here. They know that against the level 16 talent, they don't want to go into a full 5-on-5. But if they can find a kill, they will pounce on it. They have to, and they have to try and grab it.
Things are looking desperate for Dignitas. Gen.G in full control of this final game here, setting up completely around the map, have full control of the mercenary camps too as they continue to be around the entire part of the map. Dignitas, for the mean moment, are trying to grab 16, but where did they get that experience? They have to wait for Gen.G to push out the map.
it's absolutely going to be easy for them. They have to play patiently here, but there's no objective on the map, but it will be announced soon again. And of course, Gen.G, they are starting to take that map control. They're pushing in through the bot lane. If they can confirm the keep here right now, that would be great. That drag though, but Reset gets away. Unbelievable escape here by Reset, but what a great engage by Dignitas.
Poik even dropping the water elemental to soak that orb as well, to do anything here to keep this keep alive. Half a level and Dignitas will have a fighting chance. They want that 16. And with no temples on the horizon, they have that chance.
What an unbelievable engage though by Dignitas here and finding that opportunity. But Gen.G, they react in kind and they are not going down here. But they also don't get that keep.
They don't get the keep. 2 temples here, about to spawn. 16 will hit for Dignitas. All set up on Essence as well. All they're waiting for here is Twilight Dream, which is about to pop up from Malfurion, and then of course the Water Elemental in 20 seconds. Gen.G continues to control the map, and they're looking for the Giant Camp.
Dignitas has the 16. It's what they wanted. 1 minute until the boss is back up. And Dignitas, they have the even talent right now. They are behind in structures. They're far behind in this game. They're currently in the position where Gen.G has all the trump cards in their hand. But Dignitas, they have this one shot. If they take that team fight, if they win it, if they claim the objective, if they gain the momentum and maybe even capture the boss, they can turn this around.
Gen.G makes a power play with the Giants pushing the bottom, and that'll eventually get to that keep and allow catapults to spawn. Dahaka in the top starts to grab the temples. The rest of Dignitas, as a unit of 4, is facing off with Gen.G in the middle.
Dahaka at the top lane, still waiting for the opportunity to maybe burrow in to start the team fight off. Here comes the blow potential against Champion. He survives, but no! Here comes the last strike, and down he goes. Malthael again with a kill, but Li Ming is down. Li Ming is down.
Li Ming is down, and Wolby's about to have a drag chasing Tiss. The Iron Skin comes out, but Dignitas is able to grab the temple in the middle. But do not forget about the Giants to the south.
And we still have the Twilight Dream. Twilight Dream is still available, but so is the X-Strike. Gen.G still has an opportunity to jump away here. And once more, we're having the 2 teams just going to the limit here with Gen.G moving back, giving up the objective for now. They know that they have the time. Their structural advantage gives them the option to let this slide for now.
Dignitas lingering behind in experience, but still in this game. Tist and crew, after grabbing the Night Camp, will run in the middle and grab the Watchtower. They want to get an idea of where exactly Dignitas is, but Dignitas is making a power play. They run over and they grab the boss. They feel like they have to go for a Hail Mary, and this might be it.
This is a big one. They show on the map, they show Falster, they show a few heroes. They're trying to give Gen.G the illusion that they're not doing this, but it's already at half HP. This could be the play for the game as Dignitas is going in. They have the Gust, they have the Dream. The Gust comes in, it's being dodged by the Iron Skin, but we have Tiss moving back, and the boss is taken as Dignitas is fighting back in game number 7.
They get the boss, and they're starting to group up, looking like they may want to push with it. There is a Night Camp at the top right, though, going straight for a keep. It's starting to push in. That turret is going to fall, and if they don't clean this up now, Dignitas will lose a keep, and Catapult will push.
Yeah, that's a big one, and we already have the top now taken. The temple is claimed by Malthael, and that could shut down that keep. Falstad and Dahaka both are currently eliminating all the minions here, whereas we're seeing the rest of Dignitas also starting to rotate top.
Dignitas will keep all of their keeps up. All 3 of them are there, but they are low on health. Gen.G has put them in a pinch, but Dignitas, they hold on and they hold firm. Almost 19 for Gen.G, 18.5 for Dignitas.
Look how close this is. This is game 7, and we are having Gen.G on 19 and Dignitas about to draw even with them in experience. Structures on the map are nearly even as well. Dignitas has lost hit points on their keeps, but at the same time, after they were trying to get that boss, after Gen.G shut them down over and over again and grabbed one kill after another, I couldn't believe for a second that Dignitas would find themselves in such a good spot to maybe turn this around.
This double global has been their saving grace. It's kept them in the game. They've been able to soak their lanes. They've also been able to find a couple of picks or even that big boss play. But Dignitas is going to need more. 20 right around the corner for Gen.G. They may have to set up a camp as Dignitas runs the bottom left, takes their opponent's giants away, and try to grab every ounce of experience they have available to them.
We jokingly said in the season that the spirit animal of Trick Esports is a cockroach, but I think we actually have to shift it over to Dignitas. You cannot kill these guys. They survive. No matter what they do, they will fight for their life.
They will fight for their lives, and they're going to have to now. Gen.G, very close to level 20, setting up for defense. They are playing safe. They don't want to make the mistake of allowing Dignitas to get a fight.
Dignitas wants the turrets. They just want the turrets here. They want the experience in the structures, and they're trying to burst them down fast because Gen.G is getting that 20 pretty soon, and Dignitas backs off. They're not risking it. They're not risking it. They're playing it safe.
They have to.
They have the globals.
They have the globals. They should be able to soak it up. 20 seconds for the temples to activate. If they can soak middle wave and top wave, that will get them close. But Dignitas, Again, another position where they have to make a play, similar to what we saw on Towers of Doom. Gen.G, don't make any mistake about it right now. They have full control of this map.
Yeah, Gen.G is at this point just looking for another kill, and they have been fantastic with this Malthael setup. The damage that comes out of Liming in particular. This 7-sided combo against Murden, against JPL has been a target. Drop the 7-sided, get the Liming combo, and let Malthael finish the kill off.
20 is here. Fawcett's in the middle lane, can fly in at any point. Gen.G starts sieging away. This keep in the top right is taking damage. JPL will be the one to initiate. He sneaks into the bush. Tiss on the far left.
Gen.G is playing this so smart. They're actually trying to flank this. And of course, the cleansing touch on Karazim for Saka is such a powerful tool against what Dignitas is trying to do here. Gen.G is moving in. They're trying to finish it out right now. They know they only need that first kill. If they keep Liming alive this time, it will all end here.
No level 20 yet for Falstad. JPL grabs a couple of shots. Sieges on the keep here, but Gen.G not under any stress, waiting for the opportunity. Repulsion comes out. Wubby eats a little bit of damage on the front, but with the essence, he's fine.
Reset is putting the damage in the entire time. Rich is looking for an opportunity. Down. The keep is down at the top lane, and the shots are fired towards the middle. Dignitas let it go. They have the 2 globals. They can defend, but all of a sudden, the Haka is in trouble.
Wubby finds a drag, but Rich able to get away as Dignitas runs the middle lane. With 1 keep down the top right corner, the catapults are coming. But again, the saving grace has kept Dignitas in this game. They have double global. They can defend it if they need to, but they still have to be on point with their engages. They have to find a moment to get a pick on Gen.G, or there's no way they're coming back in this game.
Traps everywhere. The Chinese push meta is back. Dignitas is setting it up right now, but of course, Gen.G is scouting everything. They know that they cannot afford to face check a bush at this point.
Dignitas is getting to a point where they may have to play around the boss, and with it spawning soon, they'll be able to make that play around that boss. They do have that Mighty Gust still available. They have yet to pick that level 20. Wind Tunnel can be huge.
And Gen.G, of course, they are pushing the top lane. They know the catapults give them the edge, even against the double global. They're taking the camps and pushing it through. And this is really the moment where if Gen.G wins another fight, where they take a boss, where they can end the game, they are looking for that opportunity, and Dignitas attempts to shut it down early.
Gen.G just needs one. Do not forget the power of the reset composition. Sake immediately grabs Giants. They want to keep the map pressure in favor of Gen.G. They want to keep Dignitas constantly on the map, revealing where they're at. Minions are power in terms of vision right now.
15 seconds for the boss, and especially JPL. He has to be so careful. He carried his team with stitches, but at this point, he's a primary target for Gen.G. 7-sided into a Malthael combo, and it would be lights out for the front line, and then Dignitas would have to get an immediate kill to make up for it, and that's not going to be easy. The boss is back, and that's going to be a big option now for both teams.
Wind Tunnel has been picked, and Dahaka grabs the Night Camp at the top right. That will help out with the catapults that have been pushing in. Zelia, I think, barely sees Tiss coming up, so Dahaka pulls away and plays safe in the bush. With Kyocha in the top lane, Dignitas has to make their call. Do they move for the boss now? JPL sneaking over.
They're already moving in. They have the double global. It's a double temple on the map, so they can try and run out of that. Here already comes a bit of an engage. The water elemental is out. They're trying to stop them. Is the drag going to be there? Wubby looks for the engage, doesn't find it. Tiss, on the other hand, is still slowed. Eats a ton of damage.
The isolation did connect. Tiss is kiting away, but Dignitas holding this front line. Wubby goes for the drag, but Reset able to dash away, getting away from it. Now there is one Giant still pushing in the bottom lane, but with Temple spawning, Dignitas is under fire.
Isolation and Water Elemental are both down on the side of Dignitas, and Gen.G didn't invest any resources into this. They did not use a single heroic ability. They have the edge now for quite some time, as we see Rich in the mid lane trying to take it, but here comes the fight, and this time Gen.G doesn't get the kill against JPL.
Zelia goes in with the Twilight Dreams to try and chase, but Gen.G, they get away again. They sneak away, but this time they did use a couple heroics. Dignitas floating around this boss again. They start it. They realize they have to make the Hail Mary play. Blizzard comes out as they try to clear up the boss.
Dignitas, they go for it. They go for the Hail Mary play. They're going for the YOLO at this point. They know they have zone control, but there's always Johanna. Johanna can dodge it. Inevitable End is also another tool where they can dodge the Gust, and that's what they're going to try and do. The boss is down. This could be the moment. We still see Rich in the middle. Here comes Johanna. The attack is on the Wind Tunnel. The boss is taken.
But the temples have been grabbed, and they are seizing on the core. The core has dropped down 60%. Snitch runs to the bottom, and he goes for Kyocha. He gets the kill. Last part, but JPL goes in. They're trying to slow down Gen.G.
41 points on the core, and here comes Gen.G. Reset wants it. They're trying to finish it. 21% on the core. What a finish. What a finish. Rich goes in there. Reset. They're trying to go for it. Is it enough? 1%. 1%. It's over. It's over. Gen.G is the winner at the Mid-Season Brawl. They somehow put the damage in and they finish the series. They take the best of 7. They are ecstatic and they have every reason to be. What a call at the end of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, the HGC Mid-Season Brawl, Gen.G!
A well-deserved victory for Rich and crew as Gen.G comes to this tournament as the Goliath that everyone feared. Now they did stub their toe on a Team Dignitas, but they were able to earn the victory, a 4-3, and you gotta commend them in their shot calling on Sky Temple, being able to handle the pressure of going to the final game and being clear, being concise, and earning that victory with a shot call on the core. You gotta love what this team can present.
An unbelievable finish. Literally the last hit dropped the core. Dignitas was trying to block every single shot and they nearly made it happen. But Gen.G, they take it, and what an amazing series. One, if not the best grand final at a mid-season brawl, at a major tournament in Heroes of the Storm ever.
A team of all-stars delivering the victory. This was their main goal coming into it. They didn't have an MSB yet, but they got it.
Nobody expected that it would be this tough for them, and they are sitting there, they still can't believe it themselves.
They're still in shock.
Rich, after recovering, immediately moving over, and they are giving the respect to Dignitas that the European team deserves here. You can't beat Gen.G, but they made it extremely close.
And again, kudos to Dignitas, pushing it to the limit, winning maps that we thought they were out. That Towers of Doom in particular may go down as one of the best games that we've seen in Heroes of the Storm history.
I still can't believe what an unbelievable call we just saw on Sky Temple by Gen.G. This team is so absolutely fantastic. Every single player on this lineup is an absolute superstar, and they just proved it once more, once again. And Europe is close. North America is closing the gap as well, but the Western regions, they still have work to do before they can take down these guys.
That's probably the best part about this tournament, is every single region that you see come compete. They're here. They're ready to be at this highest of levels, competing, trying to earn these big victories. Now, of course, Korea comes out on top, but I think this tournament in particular gets you excited for BlizzCon. A few more months out, and we'll have to compete once again.
And one of the reasons why I love Sweden, why I love the Mid-Season Brawl, is the crowd who is immediately cheering for the Koreans after throughout the entire series. They were in the camp of Dignitas. They're giving Gen.G the respect that they deserve. This team is absolutely amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Gen.G!
A well-deserved victory. Rich takes the trophy and runs it back. He's gonna throw that in his suitcase. He deserves it. It's actually, when we talked to them, that was the thing they said that we were missing.
This is just absolutely amazing. 7 games out of the series where everybody expected that we would see Korea just dominate, and they win it in the end, but it was closer than anybody expected.
A draining series, I think, is what you could really say about that, between the players, everyone here involved, pushing Heroes of the Storm and the nod of the game to the limits. We felt like Gen.G was unmatched. Dignitas able to at least take them to game number 7, but Gen.G just this much better, able to earn the victory, and it was so well deserved. It was a pleasure to watch it. I want to see more, actually. Could we get an exhibition match afterwards?
I can't wait for the Western Clash, the Eastern Clash, and BlizzCon this year. That's it for us from now. We're going to throw it back to the panel, where we're definitely going to hear a little bit more about this final game on Sky Temple.
I can barely breathe at the end of that 7-game series. In the best of 7 goes all the way to the final game, and history repeats itself on multiple fronts. Gen.G as a roster is able to claim themselves another phenomenal championship Dignitas comes close once again, but no cigar. They fall at the very last hurdle, and the decision-making at the very end there could have quite easily cost them that. They had to make decisions. It seemed very difficult for them to make decisions there, Dread, at the very, very end.
Yeah, and I still think that Dignitas showed a lot of their individual strengths when it came to some of the rotations at the very end there. We talked about when they had to force the boss at some point to demand some answers, as they were so far behind when it came to the structures, but using the double global to try and get the threat on Kyoto, who was consuming the remainder of those shots. I mean, it came down to legitimately one tick of damage, and that was because of the clever play from Dignitas. Very well earned, but congratulations to Gen.G for also concluding and just adding another trophy there.
Just unbelievable from Gen.G throughout this entire tournament, through the resilience that we saw here in this best of 7. Let's take a look at the top 3 players here from our grand final. There was hundreds of players we could have picked from, Dread, but what do we have?
I like to stick to the breaking point in the closest competitive ones here, and this absolutely had to be one on Infernal Shrines. That was the Medivh Leyline seal to lock in that kind of final kill, but the opener with the Riptire and everything like this, it was just an orchestra, here between the two teams.
This is the game that reset the streak for Gen.G.
That's correct. So it was a big one, a very big one, with that Leyline seal finally landing and Dignitas being able to eventually clean up just that little bit more. Let's head over to play number 2.
No surprise here on the bottom lane. Huge plays from both ends. I want to highlight Gen.G's use of the bunker early on. With the amount of pressure that they received, Ring of Frost becomes a bit of a whiff there with that clever usage, and then Xaylia and JPL with this turn. It is huge.
The fact that we are all sitting back here thinking that Dignitas, they lose their first member in Hanzo, and then they are stuck literally in a trap, and then somehow turn that around was quite a surreal scene.
And number 1 for the grand finals.
Got ourselves a skirmish on bottom. And gotta first off highlight Kyocha's opportunity to be able to get the juke here and kite away. And double reset composition does what double reset composition does best. When it finds one kill, it finds a lot more. Rich, very satisfied to find himself on Genji in this game.
This is one where everything looked like it started to fall apart. But for Dignitas to show the resiliency that they did to get back into this game, it just seemed the insurmountable odds that we continued to see Dignitas face kept climbing them, but they came up one step short.
Yeah, I would say that Team Dignitas gets A+ in crisis management in the last 3 games. I would hazard to say maybe that we work on not getting into those positions in the first place for BlizzCon, but man, they can make a comeback happen.
I mean, for me, looking in, I think I've been at the majority of these grand finals that we've had on these international stages. This was the best Heroes of the Storm finals of all time. Is that fair to say?
2 years ago, we first made that statement during DreamHack Sweden, and it was just an insane series. And then year after year, it seems like we top it because we had Dignitas Fnatic last year. This year, we get Dignitas and Gen.G, and every year, we tend to take this one step further. Yeah. It's crazy to think, when you think you've seen the best, we see more than the best every year.
The one thing that I absolutely loved about this series is it felt like it came down to a lot of the individual mechanics and the micro that we expect out of Korea and the intelligent play from the European region. And that is something that, especially with the turret removal, everybody kind of asked, what is actually the dominant strategy now? Because before, I would argue it very much was the macro here. So the fact that Gen.G was able to hold their own, even with the amount of pressure, with the crowd kind of going against them, I'm honestly in awe.
All right, well, let's go and hear from the winners of the Mid-Season Brawl, who are ready with Heku.
James! This series was absolutely insane. I almost lost my voice. Did you expect this? Did you expect all the maps to go like this?
아, 진짜 이렇게 힘겹게 이길 거라고 생각했네요. 7차전까지 가서.
진짜 이럴 거라고 전혀 생각지도 못했는데 디그니타스 갑자기 너무 잘해져가지고 약간 정신적으로 충격이 컸던 것 같아요.
He says no, he didn't expect it at all. Like Dignitas, suddenly they take it to another level, and that just hit their mentality so hard.
The Towers of Doom, where Dignitas managed to make a comeback. What was going through your head? Because I saw some of your players were just sitting, laughing. They were not believing what is happening. You kept on being very serious and concentrated. What were you thinking?
그 파멸의 탑에서 역전당했는데 그 상황에서 다른 팀원들은 그 자리에서 묻기도 하고 제가 믿기지 않는 것처럼 그런 모습을 보여줬는데 그때 본인의 심정 어땠나요?
너무 참담했어요, 진짜. 갑자기 한타가 끝나 있더라고요. 그래서 진짜 이거 큰일 났다, 기세 밀렸다 이 생각하고 한 판 잘해보자 이런 느낌이었어요.
Yeah, he says that match was like such a disaster. Like they blinked and they had lost a team fight, and he was like, well, just got to get ready for the next match.
So now you have an Eastern Clash trophy, you have a BlizzCon trophy, and you finished your collection with the MSB trophy. Do you keep on going, or what?
이제 그 블리즈컨 트로피, 이스턴 클래시, 난투까지 다 섞었는데 이제 남은 게 뭐가 있나요?
클래시가 저희가 우승을 못했는데
No, they didn't win Clash.
No, like few before, like not the last one, but before.
올해 말고 그냥 커리어로요, 커리어로.
그때는 제가 없었기 때문에 저는 클래시를 우승하고 싶네요.
Maybe for the other guys they have it, but him personally, he wasn't on that roster, so he still has that left. He needs the Clash.
Oh, so you're planning to win the next Eastern Clash. Guys, this was an amazing series. Congratulations once again. Kalaris, do you have any final words?
Just unbelievable, just utterly unbelievable to watch how Gen.G was able to keep themselves composed together and everything coming into this grand final. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I think the big deal to remember here for Gen.G is they came in on such a win streak, and there are a lot of teams that go on those win streaks and are terrified to lose. It's been so long since they've lost. And what happens when you don't lose anything until the grand finals? It's a big question, and I'm sure that shook the confidence quite a bit. But they not only were able to recover, but to win the grand finals off of that, I think that means even more to them this win.
Let's check out the road that Gen.G took to get here and eventually round things out. As you can see, up to the top, they did not falter, they did not waver, did Gen.G, as they did not fall down to the lower bracket. No, 3-0, 3-0, and then into the final. Everything looked utterly indestructible for Gen.G, but Dignitas brought them to the very brink, Jay Howe.
It's just, again, the story that we were trying to develop. It's like, okay, if this, and I don't think anybody expected us to be telling this story, and I think that's kind of the greatest thing that we have, is that the excitement, not just from the fans and the players, but we're sitting back here, we're all just losing our minds to witness just true magic happening through this game. It's incredible.
Final thoughts from everyone. I'll give you your floor.
I mean, I would just add a little bit on to the point that Gillyweed had, is not only what that does mentally to a team that has never lost, but even more so when looking at the core of this roster in the past, when they have felt that confident, when they got their backs against the wall. We saw wild picks and kind of wild decisions that we had never seen from them. So again, that strength in the grand finals, and then again, this team has shown those kind of characteristics in the past. I think it shows a lot.
I mean, for me,